What's up, boys? Let's go.
What up?
Right.
What up? What up? Hell yeah.
Yes.
We are live seamlessly on time. What is up, my people? This is, of course, let's go ahead and start this off right. This is Tuesday. This is Cigar Talk Live. Mm-hmm. This is our Tuesday get-together where we get to sit with you beautiful people on the side of the lens and some beautiful guests with us today. We have one immensely beautiful guest. He's one of us.
Handsome as hell.
Too kind.
Dude is just excellent. And just remember, this is an interactive show, so your comments, your questions, your everything helps drive this conversation. The last few have been getting in deep. If you like what we're talking about, be part of the conversation with comments, likes, shares. If you're on YouTube, hit that little subscribe button. We're trying to make $1 million on YouTube.
Easy.
And we haven't made one yet, but I think it's in our future.
I think
we're
once
getting
we
there.
make the first $1, it is just
Almo-
downhill from there.
Almost $1 million.
Yeah.
Just the first one.
Almost
Yeah.
$1 million. So hit that as we're loading up and we're waiting for people to come
We got
in.
LaGrange from Missouri in the house. We have Georgia in the house, and we have literally Ron's right there.
Ron is right there. Wayne
And Turd
Ferguson is
Ferguson's
in.
right there. So,
Are you Turd Ferguson today?
that's only
Moose
Saturday.
Knuckle. We call him Moose Knuckle. You want to see why? Check that out. Okay, and
Made you look.
It's about time.
And we got Junior Soul Train in there.
We got Junior Soul Train. We've got actually a pretty busy little house for a Tuesday, and importantly, we have Tim Huels on from the Whiskey Blendary, Oak Point, Texas. Welcome, my brother.
Hey,
Welcome.
thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Well, damn glad to have you. Will you just tell everyone your life story in 90 seconds?
Well, I could focus on last year alone, and that would sum up about 90% of my life right now. So, but
Do that.
okay. Yeah. So last year, I don't know if I'm a genius or if I like torturing myself, but so last year we moved into a trailer to start the business, found a house, got married, got pregnant, got a dog, did a remodel, opened a distillery, and a few other things.
But completely different vision of a distillery. A completely different model.
Yeah, technically it's a distillery, but
Are you looking for the truth and an answer of whether you're a genius or a retard? That's we're getting shut off.
well, I'm gonna find that out this
I like
year.
the inflection that you
I'm
know
gonna find-
wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm quoting a movie. I'm quoting a movie. Facebook.
Yeah.
But I think you're a genius
Oh, well, thank
because
you.
you put your nuggets on the table, and
gotta do
so many
that
people are too
sometimes.
afraid to do
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Congratulations as well. Your newborn.
Yep.
What? 2 months? 3 months?
Yeah, she is 11 and a half weeks. Baby Ella.
Still weeks.
Oh
Weeks.
gosh.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
awesome.
Yeah, she's,
Well, with that, we got
she's
yeah.
cheers.
Let's start the show.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here, and cheers to y'all for joining us for Tuesday Cigar Talk Live.
Let's take the first segment here for just a moment and talk about what we're drinking and what we're smoking.
Oh yeah,
It's incredible.
dude.
That's if it's like anything from the Whiskey Blendary, it's probably like a 147 proof that drinks like a Bud Light. I mean, it's so smooth. What are we drinking right now?
Yeah, so that is the rye that I give to people that don't like ryes that changes their mind.
My wife needs to try this. She's not a rye drinker.
Yeah, so,
she always shies
so
away from it.
It still tastes like a rye, but it is so
it's subtle.
complex, has
Yep.
a ton of fruit notes, and it is so drinkable. It makes you want to take another sip.
Yeah, it's magnetic.
Oh, for sure.
This conversation is going to get deep. I can already feel it, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or slurry.
So we called that one Special K because that barrel came from Warehouse K at MGP.
Okay.
My brother was in town. We opened up the barrel together. We're standing on other barrels because I had them stacked in a big pyramid. We thief inside, so stick the big copper thief inside, take a sip. We both look at each other, and we're like, that's special. So then we called it Special K.
Special K.
And,
Why is Miguel looking at you with this rage in his eyes right now?
Oh, because he wants a drink of it, and
I mean, look
and
at
he
you can
knows
feel it.
it's special. He knows it's special. He sees an empty glass right there.
Oh, did you? What is? I was trying to read this. It says something like OG member of this. Will you explain this as well? I mean, I don't mean to. I mean, he's coming on frame to just start whooping ass right now.
Yeah, so Miguel came up about 5 minutes before we started, and he goes, "Hey, man, I love these glasses. I need to get one of those glasses. And then I said, hey, sorry, you're not a member, because those only went to OG members that signed up and are a part of the Blendary. So sorry, Miguel. But you can drink out of one later, I guess.
You can use mine afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think we need Miguel on the show. I mean, the first time I met him, I knew his name was Miguel Duran, right? And then I talked to him. He's like, he's got this English accent. I'm like, what's happening here?
Yo,
So yeah, we need you on the show.
we definitely need Miguel on the show. Duran, man.
Yep.
This is like Duran. But
Yeah. We got a
looking
question already
forward.
coming in. Alex from Ready Adventure Gear. He said, technically a distillery? He's asking.
Oh, will
So
you?
give us a
will you
little bit
just-
more about that? Yeah.
Yeah, so I say technically because I do have my distiller's permit, but we aren't distilling. So we don't have grains on site. We're not mashing anything. We're not going from farm to bottle.
Yep.
So we are sourcing everything like almost all new distilleries. They have to source whiskey. So if they want to have whiskey, very few people. I know one that's just recently opened up in McKinney. That they did everything start to finish and waited 3 to 4 years before they bottled anything. So most distilleries can't do that. So they source the whiskey from somebody else.
Okay.
Even the larger distilleries still source. A lot of them still source.
Sure.
Because it's easier. It's predictable. You know what you're going to get. You know what it's going to cost. I had thought about it, but it takes a large capital investment.
Yep.
And then I've never done it before. So then I make a distillate. Okay. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not.
Yep.
Let's wait 6 years, find out it's not good, then start over.
Yeah.
No, let me just
Now
source
you're back
from
in the
MGP.
trailer.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, back in the trailer.
Yeah, back to the trailer you go.
Alex says, I dig it. I love the rye. Sounds great. So yeah, he's in San Antonio. Alex,
Nice.
come down. We'll take you there. Visit Tim. Go to the Blendery. Make sure you follow him. And,
I'm
just
telling
have
you
a good
what,
time.
but when you talk about he's one of us, you walk in and it's a beautiful lounge. It's this
It's very
unbelievably
similar
inviting.
lighting.
It's
yeah,
very similar to here.
It feels the same.
It feels
Good
the same as
vibes.
being in here. You just get this warm, inviting feeling, and the concept is incredibly unique. I mean, nowhere in the world, or that I know of, can you walk into a place, you'll have like beakers where you can decide, okay, I want some of this, and create your own blend.
Yeah, so we try to take it to the next level. So there's other places that you can do something similar, but we want to create the environment. We want to create the experience because you're bringing your friends, you're bringing your family in, and those are the people that you want to create those experiences with. So, and then we're trying to take it to the full custom level. So we started using finishing barrels just to kind of play with stuff and putting good whiskey in the finishing barrels. We're not taking bad whiskey, trying to finish it, or taking young whiskey and trying to hide the youngness. So we are taking good whiskey, just like the Sherry Christmas that you guys had that you liked.
And the Merry Sherry Christmas.
Yeah, so that was a 7-year rye. That was a single barrel. So meaning that it was very good that we could sell it as is, just as the rye. But we wanted to add a second layer of complexity. So like I was telling you, so only 5 days in a fresh sherry cask from France. So the very Sherry Christmas was 10 days in the cask, which if you had that and if you have experience drinking finished whiskeys, you might think, oh man, maybe this was in here for 2 years, or you just don't know because it was very sherry forward.
Yeah.
And that was 10 days.
It was phenomenal.
But the difference is the fresh cask. So it was freshly dumped, and we were the first ones to get it. And then we immediately picked a single barrel that we thought would complement it, and then put it in, and turned out great.
It was excellent for sure.
Yeah, you can feel the passion to it too. You know, I'm a novice when it comes to whiskey. I'm a novice in most things, including cigars, unfortunately. But I'd never purchased a bottle that I could be excited about, or knew enough about. And when you see all the whiskey guys and chasing, you kind of, for me, it gets very intimidating to go, oh, I'm going to spend something to get a bottle that you end up posting about, and then people kind of, they say, it's not that unique or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've stayed away from it. But then when we're in there, we're drinking Double Jeopardy. It was the first time in my life that I went, this is what whiskey's about. And it was a whole experience that I just said, I need that. What's that going to cost? And then son of a bitch just gave it to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it was
Yeah, by the way, if you
unique.
stay with that business model, you'll live in that trailer again.
Yeah, we're on our way
Real
to
soon.
it as well.
Yeah, we've given out a few cigars over the last
just a
5
few,
years.
yeah.
And
Yep.
Yep.
difference
well,
between making
if-
money and not.
If it's good people and good company, sometimes that matters more.
It definitely helps.
Yeah.
What's up, Tim? Thanks for joining.
Dang. Oh, Kathleen says streaming's lagging. What's that
That's
internet
what
like
she
up on
said.
up in Prosper there? How's the internet feed coming through here? We feeding all
Our
right?
stream, is it good?
Looking good. Well, Kathleen, refresh your hookup here.
Yeah, restart our router maybe. I don't know.
You know, let me ask you here because from more so kind of moving from we haven't talked about the cigars, which you will, but you're a new father. Is this your first child?
First child,
Oh, you're new.
That's fun.
new.
That's fun.
Yep.
How are you finding the balance of work life? Are you struggling with it? Do you feel good with it? How do you guys, also being entrepreneurs and fathers, how do you guys deal with that work-life balance?
So my wife Sunny would say, "Hey, did you tell them to ask you that?" Because I talk about balance a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm in no manner am I got everything figured out. So especially with the newborn.
Yep.
But that was one of the reasons to start the Whiskey Blendery is to have more balance. So
Yep.
I want to make family my top priority. I've always made work my top priority.
Yep.
Then I met my wife Sunny, and she turned my world upside down. And I have different priorities now. But to have baby Ella with us has been unbelievable. So
Yeah. How do you find the balance? I mean, your kids
it's
are
hard.
older, but maybe just
Yeah.
back all the way
but
up.
even back in the day, I mean, it's hard because you want to provide for the family.
how many kids do you have?
2. Then they're out of the house and much older than this guy. My son
Is
is
Nathan
older
older
than
than me?
He's older than you, yeah.
Jesus Christ, you're old, man.
I'm old. But it's a balance thing. You just kind of have to figure things out. You have to, if there's a recital, if there's a game that's happening, you make time for that, and you just make do.
Yep.
And Pops has many stories regarding that. You have 3 sons, right?
Yeah.
A lot of activities.
A lot of
And
activities.
that was real easy because we could play one sport.
Yeah, that was it. Because if one of them little dipshits came in and said, "I want to play soccer," and the other one said, "I want to play baseball,"
Nathan
and the other
did.
one said, "I want to play football," I'm going,
That
pick one.
bullshit, yeah.
Because I'm taking you to one practice.
Football. That's
it. So,
That's how we got to this. Nathan
That's-
actually, I remember Nathan wanting to play soccer.
yeah.
He didn't get it.
Nope,
Yeah.
they get it. So, and I still haven't seen a soccer game, so it's all worked out pretty well. No, I think you're right, though. I think as long as you commit and as long as you understand that being a parent's the most important job in the world and nothing else comes close and you operate with that, it's never easy, but that's your guiding light. So I know people that have kids, and you can tell when they feel inconvenienced because they've had kids. I don't get to go do this. I don't get to buy this. I don't get to go on this vacation. They're inconvenienced by their kids. They should have never had them in the first place.
Yep.
So
I get the comments of man, isn't it awful that you can't sleep and you can't, they point out all these negative things. It's like, no, like I'm 40 years old. I've always wanted kids. I finally have a kid. Like I enjoy this.
Yeah.
Like I she's crying and I don't want her to cry, but she's gonna cry. I still love
They're
those.
not broke.
I still love those moments.
Babies cry. That's
babies
just what
cry.
they do. Boy. Yeah.
that's the one thing about crying, though, is when they're crying just to cry, and when they're crying when they hurt.
Yeah.
When they're hurting, it's a different level of intensity.
That's one thing you'll definitely
I don't
pick up.
think I've had the hurt one. So we figured out the tone last night. We're always learning, Last night we figured out, okay, when it reaches this tone, I'm hungry. So it's not a pacifier. It's not hold me. It's not anything else.
I'm starving.
Feed me, and that's the only thing that's going to fix it.
And just the other tip, and all of my kids definitely look like they beat anorexia. So I think that the main thing is don't do what the book says. Feed the kid until they just shut up.
Yeah, till that hand relaxes.
The idea that, oh no, they can only have 1 ounce every day. Fuck
No.
that.
No.
Yep.
I mean,
Calories,
these kids
calories,
were not
calories.
on, they were not on pork
She
chop
eats.
bones
Yeah,
early.
She eats.
Yeah,
She has no problem eating.
The book is
and
wrong.
no
Whatever
problem,
they say you're supposed to have.
going through. So
You know, one question that we haven't actually asked, and Tim, you were talking about how Sonny kind of swept you off your feet and changed your life. We're all married men up here. We all have kids. We all have multiple kids. And you most certainly will, because they start multiplying out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Even when you don't.
it's not off the table.
It's like a
but-
gremlin.
Let's continue. Yeah, let's go ahead. But I want to take a second to talk about how you met your wife. What's the story? How did you guys meet your wives? Because you've been with Kathleen now how long?
33 years.
33 years. And Pops has been with Begley since 97, 98,
98, 20, or
25 years.
math right now.
This is 25
Yeah,
years.
Put him
years.
on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and our 10-year wedding anniversary is coming up
Yeah.
next year.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't that crazy? And
How long?
This next year will be our 10-year anniversary,
Wow.
wedding anniversary. But we all have people who I think keep us on the straight and narrow. How did you meet Sonny, and how did that change you?
Yeah, so I met her in 2020. So she was in the Air Force prior to moving to Dallas. So that was her first civilian job, moving to Dallas. Cool. And I'd been doing the dating app deal.
Yeah.
Hadn't really worked for me, obviously. But yeah, had it's kind of a funny story because we had decided to go to a coffee shop in Plano. She had an apartment in Plano. And we met up at this coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I've been on multiple dates, and I didn't want her to see the car I was driving or any of that. I didn't want any outside influences. I wanted her to see me for me.
Yeah.
And so I had I think I had a plain T-shirt and some basketball shorts. Parked my car down the street.
Sure.
And walked up and met her just because, hey, no sense in like doing all these steak dinners and all that. Let's see if there's a connection first.
Yep.
So we had a coffee. We walked around the block multiple times, and it was awesome. So the next, I asked her to see her again the next day, and I think we just had like chips and salsa somewhere.
Nice.
And then I knew I did not want to date anybody else, and she had just got on the dating app.
Wow.
So, but I was so confident that we had something, and took a little faith too.
Yep.
And I just told her like, hey, I'm signing off of the dating app because I know you're the one I want to date.
Wow.
And I'm okay if you stay on, and I'm okay if you date other people because I know that if this is going to work out, it's going to work out.
Right.
So I'll be patient. And so I think it took her a day or two. but
Smooth
then-
move.
Yeah, that's give the
came-
freedom.
Yeah, she came back around and said, okay, I signed off of it too. So then,
Hook set.
yeah.
Look, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
So-
I have to say, while you were talking about all the things like T-shirts and shorts and parking your car down the street, how cool would it be to walk into a date for coffee, and when you sit down like this raggedy old sign that says "We'll work for food," and just set it down on the
Upside
table.
down like you're embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed on that. What's that say? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Were you the guy that was down on the corner? Maybe. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I work for myself.
Yeah, I get paid hourly.
That could be.
Yeah.
When did you meet Kathleen? When did you know that Kathleen was the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with?
Shit.
Is there a moment
It
that you
was-
can remember?
I mean, it was when I first saw her. I was working. I was a teller at a bank. This is mid '90s, and she came to my window, and because she was applying for a job at my credit union I was working at, came to my window, asked for my manager, and I was like, back then you wore ties and suit and shit. So I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, Veronica, yeah, let me get her. And she interviewed, left, and I went to Veronica, and I was like, who's that? She's like, oh, that's Kathleen, blah, blah, blah. And like, she's hired. And I was just a teller. I had no, decision-making opportunities or whatever, but I was like, yeah, you should hire her. She'd do good back here. And she got hired eventually. I was dating, she was dating. We lived relatively close to each other. The bank that we worked at was on the other side of town. She's like, where do you live? Oh, I live here. I live here. Hey, do you mind picking me up? So little by little, I would pick her up. We drive together to work, and we had a good conversation. And that was then.
Man, that's cool.
Nice.
That is cool. Yeah, Special K is a bottle, by the way, that Tim brought. Howie, what's up? Thank you for joining us. For all of you who are joining us, thank you. This is Cigar Talk Live.
I will tell you one of the best tests that I did early on with Begley, when you were talking about the driving her to work and stuff like that. I did the old, hey, get out and see if my taillights are broken, and then drove away just to see how pissed she was going to be when I got back. And she didn't kill me, so I knew at that point she was probably the one.
You're a dick.
Now,
I just wanted to see what would, you know.
never did those kind of tests.
I've done something similar where, like, you're in the car and then, like, I always open the car door for my wife. I still do. But it's like when they're coming up to the car and you, like, drive up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
She tries to open it and you drive up a little bit.
Yeah.
I've done that.
You gotta do that.
Yeah.
On the reverse side of that, Grandpa taught me a deal, and come to find out it's in like a movie. But he said, he told me that if you're with the girl, now this is before automatic deals, so this is how I knew Ale was all about it. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Keep your door locked, open the door for her, and if she reaches over and unlocks the car door, keep her. I did that with every girlfriend I ever dated. From the time I was probably 12, and it might have been the time we were smoking our first cigar when I was 12, Black and Mild, lighting bottle rockets, the whole deal. That might have been when he told me that, and she reached over and opened the car for me. Granted, it was actually, the car had caught on fire. It was an old Nissan Sentra. So same thing. It was great, but it was in that moment where I was like, oh, I got to hang on to this one. She looks out.
And did it catch fire after that, or?
You know what? I don't know what happened to that car.
Get out of the car?
It might have been on fire. Yeah, it might have been on fire. But Bob says Bob says a real unique, story when it comes to Begley. She was set up to be in an arranged marriage. Albanian family, like really, really nasty culture. But then you somehow convinced her. I don't know necessarily how you guys connected or how it was, but then you fast forward. I couldn't imagine my life without her.
She worked for Panasonic. I worked for Panasonic. We would do co-op advertising, and she was the one that would actually audit all the co-op advertising. So I would always have to call her in order to make sure that my accounts were getting paid their co-op money. So there were a couple of times that I had talked to her, and then I'm single at this point, and there was one day that she called and left a message and said, give me a call. This is Begley, I'm returning your call. Give me a call, sweetheart. And I went,
wow.
Doors open.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Gotcha.
So I called her, but here's the thing. We talked for almost daily for almost 2 months. I didn't know what she looked like.
Oh, wow.
At all. We had developed this rapport and this relationship based on everything that we would want without worrying about the looks. And I went to Chicago, and I told her I'm staying at this particular hotel. She was a sucker, and she came to the hotel. But the simple fact of the matter is, I was at the point where I didn't care what she looked like, because we had connected as people. And so many people are making these swiping right based on what somebody looks like.
Right.
And our connection was already made. So it's kind of like, I really don't care what she looks like. I mean, this is the person. And unfortunately, she looked good too. So had that going for me.
Well, it's really interesting, and it helps with our Nebraska farming side, because Garrett Reed is married to a Jordanian, and he had to offer 3 camels. So then it comes back, and now we had some goat ties,
just
so
3?
you could just give the family 2 goats.
That Muslim culture is all about prearranged marriages. So her father had passed, so that I was clear on that aspect of it. But one of the uncles called me one time, and he started lighting into me. You know, you're ruining us. And I mean, this dude was going off on me. And then and about halfway through the conversation, I realized I really don't have to put up with this guy's shit. So I started calling him a goat herder. I started calling him all kinds of shit. I mean, I was going at him. And then I realized I'm never going to see this guy.
Yeah.
And I knew the hook was already set with Begley. So I called him a goat herder. Apparently that really pissed him off. But
I don't think you're supposed to call Albanians goat herders.
I called this one a goat herder.
Yeah.
And you know who it is? It was Sue's husband.
Sue's husband?
Yeah.
Well, he is a goat herder.
Yeah, well, and I haven't met him yet.
30
years later, still haven't met the guy.
Yeah.
But it did take a while. I didn't meet her mom for 14 years, 15 years. Never talked to her.
By choice.
For
By her
15
choice.
years.
By
By
her
her
choice,
choice.
yeah.
By her choice. She
Yeah,
was
because she was
banished.
still a little butthurt over the whole thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
It is what it is. She's happy.
But now she's a bigger part of the family. She's comes and makes the
It is
baklava.
definitely, yeah, she makes baklava. And
And I
it's,
call her Borat's mom, and she loves it. It's great.
Brandon
She calls
calls
me
her
Borat.
Borat's mom, and
And I
that's
talk
it.
like Borat around her. She's good
funny.
people. I like her.
Good,
she
good.
can make some baklava.
Oh my gosh, she can make
Nice.
some baklava. I can tell you what.
Nice.
Ooh, I tell you what. So that's a little bit about us, Tim.
Yeah, that's-
it's
It's a lot.
He's like, Jesus, I'm getting my drink and getting
oh,
the hell out of
yeah.
here.
That's a good point. You're out. We need to
Shit.
fix that.
Yeah, yeah.
Adrian's over here.
While we're pouring, a big shout out to Baptiste and Cigar Hammer Mike. Thanks for joining, guys.
What's up, Baptiste? I need to learn, like, maybe just hello and what's up, but like the
Glasses,
right way to say
please.
what's up in French. You know how to say it?
Yeah. I don't know.
But help us out, Baptiste. How do you say? How you would say Jesus? Pops?
Bonjour.
I don't know if that's a good
Yeah,
pour
but
or
how
not.
he says it.
How are you sitting over there, tequila man?
I'm good.
Is that
I'm
a thick
good.
pour or is that a?
Yeah.
That's a healthy pour.
Okay. Healthy.
Yeah,
I haven't drank.
What's
for,
up, Jeremy?
As long as you drink it, then you're good.
Oh, you will.
So you get
Yeah,
I
it's
know
not how you
will.
start; it's how you finish.
Yeah, so there's you know, I like to share nice bottles, and every once in a while you get the guy that comes over and then he'll, you know, pour like 4 or 5 ounces out and try it. Oh man, you know, this is
strong.
Yeah, this is strong. So yes, sir, it is.
You're welcome.
And then
Better finish it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's like, yeah, that's about a $500 pour you just took. So we're gonna
sit here.
we're gonna be here a while.
I'm
so.
going to be watching you.
Yeah, clean the
You're
plate.
eating
bud.
all your broccoli, bitch.
So Cigar of the Day is coming in with Bonjour, and then he's, I don't know, can you read that?
What? Because I'm Mexican?
Well, I mean, it's very close to it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Cava bien. Baptiste, if you're still on, what's the proper way to say hello?
And can you also put that in a phonetic? You know how to say that, but
Yeah.
is it chava bien? I don't know what
Oh,
it is.
you're right,
I
you're
don't
right.
know.
Yeah,
I don't speak
Okay.
that language.
No.
Saba. Saba. It sounds
Yeah.
like
What are you smoking? You got a principal?
Patrier. We're
Principal
smoking
Patrier.
Patriers.
It's excellent.
You like it?
Yeah, I really do.
It's that
That's
kind of
spectacular.
medium, full. It's got a lot of texture
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, so we were kind of talking. So the same thing that I ask people these qualifying questions on what they like because I
Yeah.
want to find them a good whiskey and I want to
Yep.
get them to make a good whiskey that they're going to be proud of.
Right.
And so he started asking me qualifying questions as soon as I jumped in the humidor and then he's like dials me in. He's like, all right,
Yeah.
this one. And it's like, yeah.
Is
it-
this where you wanted it to go? Is this somewhere
Yeah.
that is enjoyable for
yeah,
you?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would not have picked this just because I don't know what I'm looking for, but yeah, it's excellent. So
Yeah, I think you've been a little bit swayed because I think the last time when I was at your place, I think I dropped an Atabay and I think I left you an Atabay the last time.
yeah.
So
That's-
that's a good start.
Is that kind of like me giving you the special K?
That's
now?
exactly
Yeah,
what
okay.
this
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's only the finest cigar in the
on
world.
Par. It's right on par. It's like
It's
you
only the
only
finest
want your
cigar.
friends to smoke and drink the best for the experience. And
So, I mean, with that, what is a pour like that at the Blendery?
or at the future
Yeah, so
next phase.
Yeah, so those bottles we are sold out of those bottles. So
Okay.
yeah, that bottle I had a guy come in, and I had like 4 or 5 bottles at the time. Like we had just bottled them because we'd only been open since April.
Yep.
And then he tried that one, and he's like, Tim, this is special. And he owned a whiskey brand, so I'm like, okay, well, you know, I know it's really good. I called it Special K, and
Yeah.
he goes, hey, you got to enter this into a competition. There's a competition
shit.
coming up.
Okay.
This will do really well. I was like, okay, you know, first competition, I like
Yeah.
competing.
I'm not busy.
Yeah, got nothing to do. So I sent in 4 different bottles, all 4 of them placed. Special K won gold.
Wow.
And they named us the Texas Rye Distillery of the Year
No
because of that bottle.
Wow.
Because that's the only rye I sent in. So,
Okay.
yeah, that was the New York International Spirits Competition. And
Congratulations.
we're gonna enter some more competitions, but
I'll drink to that.
that is a
Cheers,
special
boys.
bottle.
Cheers to that.
So
That's excellent.
that is my Atabay right there.
In our world, we have in traditional retail, they have what are called house sticks, and house sticks are you go to the Dominican or you go to Nicaragua. Some guy's got a bundle of cigars. He sells them to you for 80 cents. They come back here and sell them for $8-9.
Right,
They're typically
5,
not
6.
very good. Ours was blended by the owner of that company and the son of the master blender of Davidoff.
Oh wow.
Using some of the rarest tobacco, small batch tobacco you can get in the world. So we build a house stick, and then he names it the house. So a lot of people are going, well, I know what house sticks are. I mean, they're kind of cheap
They're
and
the lowest
shitty.
end. Yep.
This is on the other end of the spectrum, and people that smoke it are like, this is not a house stick. This is something that needs to be in Cigar Aficionado's top 25 testing. It's got to be, because it is very, very good.
Is it still called the House?
It's still called the House.
Okay,
It's
nice.
still the House. It still wears our band. We have him in there, and it was a huge testament when that factory owner, we saw him at the trade show, and he has a bag of them, and he's smoking. We're like, hey, that's a cool cigar. He said it's my favorite.
Wow.
It's like of
That's awesome.
the heritage that he comes from, the fact that that's his favorite, and he doesn't like anything.
Yeah.
And it was a huge testament, and the fact that that's a $11-12 cigar is pretty wild.
Yeah, no doubt about
It's
it.
pretty wild. What you reading a novel there?
I'll bring it back later. It's from Tim Trader.
Yep, Tim
Trader.
Trader. Okay, Jim Trader.
Yeah.
We're sending you nothing but love. A
Yeah.
long message. I don't like long messages
Yeah.
from Jim Trader, but
We're here for you, Jim, and we love you.
yep, we love you most certainly. That's well, shit, man. Don't be.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have a dear friend of ours that has fought off stage 4 cancer, and I don't. A long message is not a message you want to get from a friend like that. So
Yeah.
So cheers to Jim Trader. This is you know what? To
Salud.
life, to family, to everything that's important right now.
Love you,
cheers,
Jim.
boys. Love you. How about them Cowboys? Yep. Keep kicking ass. Keep kicking ass.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys on the heel of that. Aside from the blanket answer that we'll all answer the same thing, what are the most important things in life? If you can't say family, if the answer is not family and you've got to get to the next level, what are the most important things of life?
I'll think like experiences, right? Which kind of involves family necessarily, but it's experiencing life, experiencing new things that you haven't tried before. If you're afraid of doing something, just do it and get out there because you never know.
Yeah. What do you think?
But, I mean, initially, I would say faith, and I mean that's most important next to family, and then to piggyback off of your experiences, I think being present with the ones you love.
Yeah.
If you have the people next to you, what does it mean if you're not present? And so making the most of those moments, which that was one thing that drew me into whiskey, was that's the one spirit that I can have that brings people together like no other spirit. And I've met some of the best people, some of my best friends over whiskey. My relationship with my dad and my brother have strengthened over whiskey. You know, holidays, like we spend a couple hours, we go down into his basement and we break out our best bottles and we catch up on life for a couple hours, and it's one of the best parts of
Along with
any
that,
holidays,
there's
yeah.
not one bottle at my house that's never been opened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And you find your special bottle and you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
You're gonna open it. You're gonna share it with the people that you love, people that you're out hanging out with. And so I'm not a collector by any means, because nothing of my stuff is closed.
It's all for
It's all
consumption.
open. Yeah.
Yeah, worth dying while it's closed.
Yep.
Same
Yeah.
thing with cigars. Same thing. I
Yep.
mean, I can buy some rare, Cuban, like pre-embargo Cubans, and we'll smoke them just because it doesn't have to be Christmas, doesn't have to be a holiday. It's just
got to be with
because
the
you're
right
together.
people.
Yeah. Pops, what do you think?
I like the concept of the experience, but I just think helping others accomplish what they want to do, however I can help, whether it's the fact that I've been around this track a couple of times more than a lot of people have. I just want to share any knowledge that I have to help other people excel, whatever that is in life. If it's mentoring a dad or mentoring a business owner, that's kind of where I find it. If you if you're taking family off the list, that's helping others accomplish what they want to accomplish.
And you've done that. You've helped so many, including myself, and just mentored just people around here. So appreciate you. Thank you.
I think you're right. I've been really studying the concept of stoicism over the past couple of years, and I heard something today that was really, really interesting. Of the easiest way to identify and define stoicism, which is 2 words: persist and resist. In order to live a life of virtue, you must first set aside what your virtues are, and persist through the difficulties, and resist the temptations. To be a good person, you must do both. And to be the person of true excellence and greatness, you must be able to resist the temptation, resist the weakness, but you must also persist to become the best person you can be. And I think those elements of living a virtuous life, if you take family out, because that can be encompassed in it, but being the best person that you can possibly be and not waiting for someone else to be the best person they can be, just going, I think for me that's important. We've got a few people who are chiming in. Junior Soul Train, as always, you have to have faith in good mental health with people around you. Garrett Reed quickly came in with mental health. And Pops, you are the best at mentoring, and thank you for being you, from Junior Soul Train and from all of us watching.
It's very humbling.
And then you've got Garrett Reed coming in with a good question that I think will stoke this, which
That's
is,
a good question, yeah.
who are the 5 people you are each putting in your circle more in 2023 to grow? And I think that's a perfect question, an excellent question.
Can we kick some out?
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah, who are those 5? And if it's not 5, who are those few? Who are those people that need more of your time in 2023 or have earned more of your time?
Wow.
Yeah.
This room holds more than 5.
It really does.
But
Yeah.
That's the problem.
this sitting here and being around these people, Craig and Nicole and AJ and JJ and GR and all those guys, I've been blessed to be able to get to know Nina,
Craig,
Nicole. I've got a chance to really get to know them. Your wife, Garrett, and others are just people that I just know that we just need to do more things together, and particularly get the wives and everybody together.
Mark Sheeran's coming in.
Mark Sheeran.
What's up, Mark?
Mark's he's in my circle.
What do you got? So you're gonna focus. I love that answer from a son. Hearing that is like spending more time with couples who are like-minded, different, from different backgrounds, different lives. Like I would love to see you and Begley and Craig, Nicole, Nina, Junior, like just to connect more from a couple's perspective.
Yep.
But where are you at, Tim? Maybe we might not know the people you're talking about.
Yeah, so I guess I'm thinking about it a little differently because this last year has been so busy, and I know the certain people that I want to focus on and give my attention to, but kind of the
Is
main,
it family related or friend related?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, family related. But I also want to create some capacity because right now I don't have a lot of capacity.
Good luck, bub.
So they're, I mean,
Yeah.
no, I think it's important to have that because God puts people in your life when you have capacity that need your help or that have a purpose in your life. But if you're not looking for it or if you're just too busy, then you miss those opportunities. So, so I don't want to fill that 5. I want to find that 5 this year.
Yeah. Great answer. That's excellent.
How tightly do you schedule your day, or do you just take it as it comes blowing at you?
Oh, he's pointing that question at me.
No, I know you have structure to your day. You just stick too much shit in your boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to do.
It's easy to do.
I think the old adage of just, and I don't do it enough, but make an appointment for yourself.
Yep.
Make an appointment, set the time aside in your calendar from a certain time to a certain time, or commit to stopping it at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I come up here 3 days a week as a customer. I'll tell Begley I'm going up to the shop. I'm going to be a customer tonight. I come sit out here, and I try to be a customer without somebody going, the ice machine's not working or something. But
Is that uncomfortable?
Yeah.
no, it at first it felt forced,
Yeah.
and now I look forward to it. I really look forward. I look forward to tonight, to Tuesday nights. I know Wednesday there's no pressure, so I look forward to coming up here. I think it's just this community is so special. That's why this community needs to be at the Blendary, and the Blendary needs to be here because there's just a like-minded environment. And I think, and obviously the Blendary will be here when we have the bar, but I want to make that type of connection because like-minded people miss each other a lot.
Because we're too busy. Yeah.
Yeah, in the day-to-day hustle.
Adrian, who are the people that you put in your life?
It's definitely more than 5, and it's definitely here. I have friends that I've been friends with since, middle school, if not before, that live here. We still hang out, love them, and we're in the same stage of life. But I love coming here and having the conversations with Pops, you, and different age groups, but we're all like-minded. It's this that brings us together.
Yep.
And
the power of the leaf.
That's it. And just having those conversations, and whether it be just basic conversation or it gets deep.
Yeah.
During our shows, that can get really deep. Or even just sitting in the lounge and saying hi to someone. Hey, how's it going? It turns into an hour conversation.
In all honesty, I get bored with some conversations. I think I get tainted into this conversation because I look forward to meaningful, good conversations. And then sometimes you come up and you talk about food or whatever, and it's good and it passes the time.
Sure.
But then there are times that I've got to really learn how to get deep. Identify, are we going to get deep in this conversation? Are we going to be better people?
Yeah, we're just talking about the weather.
I'm going to find someone else I need to talk to.
Yeah.
Am I going to hear about you, or are we going to get into conversations here?
Yeah, that's why it's fun to come to an environment like this because it feels like home.
Yeah.
And you walk through those doors, and it's like you don't want to have those surface level conversations anymore that you've had throughout the day that really don't mean anything. It's like, okay, hey, tell me about you, and you want to get past that and really talk about something that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I'm looking out here. I'm watching Craig and Nicole interact with a couple, with 4 other people. They may or may not know them or know them all.
This is Walter's first time in here smoking a cigar.
And he's sitting here with AJ. It's just the magic of connection.
But
is so powerful.
You know what I'd love to see as well from an activation perspective. And the thing that's so fun about Tuesday, it's like a huge shout out to Wayne and to Ron. I mean, Wayne and Ron are here on Tuesdays. We set up, we break down. It's like we're a team of production here to get this set up so we can have a conversation. And I hope it's never missed. Right now, for everyone who's watching, you're just watching a camera. On the other side, it's us talking. But there are very important things. There are important conversations being had here. There's Wayne Ferguson, who could be somewhere else that isn't, and he's here. And he's here religiously, and I appreciate the hell out of that. And Ron has been, from day one, cleaning toilets at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning. It's like,
wipe the seats down.
it's integral, you know, and you can never miss out on the value of the relationships that you make when you open yourself up and you create that situation. And that hits me kind of at a deep point because my day is planned out by the minute. And you saying how many, it really starts making me quantify how many relationships were sitting on the horizon in 2022 and since we've opened that I've been too busy to open myself to.
Yep.
It's really interesting.
Yep.
It's really interesting.
What's in it? I did a bunch of research just from I'm coming from a sales background, and all the studies show that you can manage and have quality relationships with 72 people. If you want to have consistent contact, these are customers. When you start thinking about how much of your life would get sucked away just dealing with 72 customers, we have 4,000 people in our database. But 72 relationships that you can manage, and then you got to make sure your family gets into that, you know, universe somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, no wonder you just when your head hits the pillow, you just crash. There's a lot going on.
But isn't there satisfaction?
Oh.
I love the feeling. There's nothing that I wouldn't say there's nothing that makes me feel better, but there is a certain element of pride which can be dangerous. You know when you hit the pillow and you're going, you're not sore, but that whole day you earn that pillow, baby. You earn that pillow.
Yep.
There's something as a business owner that just makes you feel like I did it today. I earned this sleep. I need this rest. Do you feel that same? Do you feel that way, or do you have a healthier relationship with work than I do?
Yeah, I don't know. I've last couple of years I've tried to, and this might sound weird, I've tried to get away from pride. Like pride for me wasn't healthy. So
Can you expand on that?
I'll try.
What you were trying to get away from pride?
Yeah, so the good things that happened in my life, and you know, it comes down to my beliefs and my faith. It's like I can say that I did those things, or I can say that God had a hand in this, and I can view it for what it is and stay humble about it, and have a heart of gratitude towards it. And that's been a healthier mindset for me, because I came from a sales background too, and I would pump my chest up and, you know, man, I just made this awesome sale. But at the end of the day, it left me wanting more and more and to keep doing it. And when I shifted, then that it put me in a better place. So so I try to stay away from, hey, I did this, and I picked a Special K, and it's like, no, I didn't. Like,
the reason I asked that is because I've said it a lot. I don't drink. I haven't drank since 1984. But to me, I always said pride is a powerful drug, and when I say pride is a powerful drug, it is because of how watching the kids succeed in most everything, virtually everything they did.
Yeah.
Sports and now their profession and all those things. And they've done it at very, very high levels. To sit back and watch that is my drug. To watch Brandon succeed as a parent and his relationship with his wife, and watching Andrew and watching Nathan break out of their shells and do their thing, and watch what they've accomplished at such a young age. That to me is pride. That pride is a powerful drug. I'd rather do that than drink or whatever. Now,
could you also say that's joy?
It is. I think it is. I think I look at it and go, I'm proud as shit at those guys.
Yeah, I think
but you're right. I mean, that's probably another way to look at it.
Yeah.
You know, joy, happiness.
Yeah,
content.
but at the end, I think it's a similar feeling, and I think maybe this is something for us to hop into, because I think what you're explaining is pride. I think there is pride when you bust your ass and you clean your garage, and then you go out, you get in the kitchen, and then you go open that garage again. You go, hell yeah! I think there's pride in understanding.
Did that this weekend.
I put the work in to do it, and now look at the fruits. Is I'm gonna walk in, and next time I have to trip the breakers, I don't have to step over 17 things to get to it. You know, so I think there is a level, like we spoke about last week. It's either everything is either a tool or a weapon. could be both, could be either.
Yeah.
But I think pride can maybe be that. But to your point, maybe there is joy or that feeling of accomplishment. But
Yep.
I do think maybe the question is, what is the best way to channel pride or express pride? Is pride on a job well done previously okay, where pride in what you're doing now and tomorrow maybe isn't? Because if you live your... I don't know. Maybe we should hop into this for a second.
How do you define pride? Does that are you giving yourself the credit on those positive experiences?
Speaking on my behalf, when I would watch them, it was there may have been a lesson that was laid down. There may have been a path that they were suggested to get on, but maybe it's just watching them. Maybe it's watching them experience joy.
Yeah,
That's pride.
I think maybe I think the way that I would explain pride is positive net effect from efforts in which I took place in. If I had my hand in it, maybe that's how I would do it, because I would never want to sit at the table and pound my fists and I'm a proud man and you're not going to talk to me this way because I am. Because I lead with pride or I lead maybe with ego. Maybe pride and ego could have blurred lines.
Yeah.
Maybe to your point, is that maybe something that you see as could pride and ego be
absolutely
confused?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely
and it's also how you frame it to yourself.
Yep.
And how you project that too. So, for me, how I was framing it was very selfish in the past, and that wasn't serving me well.
Yeah.
So you might be different, and you might frame it different to yourself to where it is a healthy thing.
Yeah.
But for me, it wasn't, and so
maybe it's in maybe it is how you channel it, because back up a couple weeks, my business partner in our marketing company and myself, we were invited and flown down to the Dominican Republic to sit to help blend a master. We sat at the table with two people we should not be sitting at the table with, and they said, "What is this blend on?" And there was both pride and responsibility in that moment of, holy shit, these guys are paying us to sit here. This is a 5th generation blender to tell me how to blend
multiple #1 cigars.
Right. Ask me to blend a cigar using him as a channel. And I felt pride in the reason why I was there, but I also felt an immense responsibility to take. He's going to put his name on this thing. So you can't get wrapped up in it where if I'm like, oh yeah, this is what we're paid for. This is what we do.
Yeah.
I think it could be very dangerous. Whereas maybe it is in your mindset of being humble first and hopefully that's...
Yeah, to be present in that moment and to give gratitude that you are in that moment.
Yes. Yes. In the introspection, when we sat at the house, we went back to the house and we sat there, we smoked a cigar on the patio and we went, can you believe what we're doing right now? Who are we to be sitting at this table right now? I said it at the table too. Who are we to sit at this table? You guys should not be asking us this question. We shouldn't even be here. I love that approach.
But I mean, think about what you just said, and I'm looking at Pops right here because you're proud of what you just accomplished, and then Pops.
But my pride is going through the roof because it is. You can hand somebody the tools. They're either going to successfully put it together or they're not. And
thanks a lot, IKEA.
I don't know that we. And if I handed them any tools, it was just a bunch of tools in a bucket and said, "Here you go, figure it out."
No, that's incorrect.
But I think that
that's not right.
To be in a situation like that, we had that in Cuba. With somebody that I think the owner of Atabey, as his guest in Cuba, and half a dozen times I'm with Oliver, and I just kept looking over, going, "This is happening," because it's like what the hell am I doing here? I'm just some hayseed from Nebraska. This isn't supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, on a global perspective, we just run a good, honest business with integrity, with character, and that's recognized by others, and people want to gravitate to that.
I hope so.
Well, the reason that you were there wasn't because you created great logos. You were there because you were respected. So the fact that you're respected gives me great pride because or joy.
Yeah.
You know, I think maybe you've kind of reframed it in my mind. I've always said pride's a powerful drug, but joy is another way to look at that.
Tim, how do you describe joy? Because it sounds like maybe you had that internal description that you had to run through.
Yeah, I think it's more of a feeling of happiness. So it's not. It's less of an accomplishment, and it's less of that. Hey, we did this or I did this, but you're saying. I think we're saying the same thing because you're saying, hey, I shouldn't be here, and there's something to that, to having a humble and heart of gratitude towards the situation that maybe you shouldn't be there, but you are there.
Right.
You are there.
Right. And maybe maybe it doesn't allow you to go back and think why you're there, or ask the question, why the hell did you invite me here? You know, it was. But you're
doesn't
more
matter.
present in on what's happening right now, not what got me to this point.
I think we're getting back to the original question, which is take family aside. What are some of the most important things in life? Being humble, being joyous, being present.
Yep.
I don't think any of us at the table could strip away those elements of being joyful and having some healthy pride and being humble and still be the people we are. I hope not. I mean, I hope being humble is integral to everyone, and everyone I'm sitting with, I
think all of those, that plus that plus that plus that plus that, can equal the success that we always strive for.
Yeah, your character.
And I think you live your life by character, honesty, and integrity, and the right people are drawn to you.
Yep.
And
and to that point, and actually, it's I don't know if it's Patrick who's coming in. I hope I said your name correct there, but pride is almost always the cause. It's Patrick. Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry, but pride is almost always the cause of your greatest mistakes. And I think you're right. If you make your decisions and you act based on your pride as the motive, that's where it's dangerous, right?
Because it snowballs from there. Because then if it works out, then it's pat yourself on the back again, and then you keep going, and it's going to end. It's going to end bad.
Yeah. And one thing that I really admire most from Adrian, and Kathleen's the same way, it's Adrian says everything without saying anything. You know, and I think if we look at someone who's ultimately introspective and humble, and I mean, what you've created is nothing short of amazing. I mean, you have Cigars and Guns that has amassed a massive following on a platform that hates cigars and guns.
True.
That's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
But you're always thinking about what's next. And that almost rolls me into the next thing is, where do you guys sit in the spectrum of understanding growth through dissatisfaction of the smaller details? And let me explain that just a little bit more, of never being satisfied, meaning, yes, that went well, but is it stroking your ego and your pride, which I think we're talking about the same concept in this. If you just go, you know what, that was awesome, that was great what I just did, versus getting to the end of something you worked very hard with and going, yeah, that was good, let's discount that. What can we do to get better? Where do you guys all sit in that spectrum? Do you reflect on those things? Do you embrace the dissatisfaction with things that were not perfection? Is it something that's valuable? Is it something that is not?
Yeah, I think that's a tough one, because I've struggled with perfection, or looking back at something and analyzing it for days, and man, I could have done this different, but then it started robbing me of what we just talked about, joy and being present, because I'm always focused on the past. So every minute I spend focused on the past, I'm not present with who matters with me, in the present. So, so that's a tough one. But I think it's healthy to look at something and evaluate it, and then if it pisses you off or makes you angry, there's a healthy anger that leads to growth. I mean, there has to be some kind of collision or something that rubs you the wrong way in order for you to say, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing this, or to course correct on where you're going.
Yeah.
Like and it's not something that is small. Like, it has to be something big. Like, oh shit, my doctor said I'm dying from cancer. I have to change today, or I'm doing something different.
Yeah.
So I guess the challenge is how do we get that growth without the note from our doctor, or how do we change those things? Because it's easy to get sucked into everything that's going on around us. That I'm a firm believer that me personally, that I miss so many opportunities because I'm focused on the wrong thing, or I fill my day with things that don't matter, that I miss the things that do matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, so you said something. We've talked about it before on the show. My parents always raised me as never be satisfied, and they're not entrepreneurs by any means. They both, my dad, long time police officer, detective, retired from the police department, went on to become a bodyguard for celebrities, but he was always like focused on that. But
What was it? It was like John Wayne or somebody
No,
like that,
it was Demi Moore and Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
And then he was a tennis player, married to Brooke Shields.
Andrew, is it Roderick?
No. You remember back in the 80s, it was
Oh,
Brooke
you're kidding me.
Shields and
What, the guy that got angry all the time?
no.
McEnroe? Or
No.
What's his Agassi?
Yeah,
Andre Agassi.
Andrew Agassi, yeah. And yeah, I mean, yeah, but they always never be satisfied. And I always kept that in my mind. Going through school, college, entrepreneurship, jobs. And it's like never be satisfied. Always want for that next thing. Not materialistic in any way, but just, want more for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your just in life. And I've always kept that, and it's just that's what's kept me going for sure.
It's interesting because this is a lesson that I taught to the kids. On January 1st, we went to Turner Falls in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
like a hike, or what is
Yeah,
it?
Turner Falls are these, they're waterfalls. It's this teal water, absolutely remarkable. And it's in the Arbuckle, I think it's called Arbuckle Mountains.
Yeah.
So my 3-year-old and my 6-year-old and my 1-year-old and my wife and myself, we all climbed Arbuckle Mountain. And my kids had to climb and climb and climb and climb. And we climbed for an hour. And we got up to the top and we looked at the view and we said, wow, isn't this beautiful? Yep, time to go. Soak it in. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
It was like, because we went down and said, you guys earned. We did this little, the little carriage ride with the Clydesdales and stuff. And we did this, but it was because I need them to know at 3 and at 6, we're going to work our ass off to get to the top. We're going to look at the view for a second, enjoy what we did, take a deep breath as a family, know that none of your friends, Alessia and Elias, none of your friends at 3 years old and 6 years old climbed a mountain today. You're better. You're better for doing this. Doesn't mean you're better than them. It just means better than you were when you were at the bottom of the hill.
Yep.
Time to go. Accept that, and it's time to move. And I think I think it's healthy.
Yep.
I think, admittedly, maybe I let that into myself of almost never being satisfied in the process.
Yeah.
Enjoying what we're doing, but never allowing myself to fully go, wow. There's no possible way I could sit for an hour and go, yeah, this is great. This is no. It's only how to get better. And I think there's maybe healthy and maybe where I sit on the spectrum, probably not in the most healthy side of that. But I think there is something with that, never being satisfied, of just knowing that you can do better, you should do better, and focusing on your wins will only feed your ego.
Yeah.
My ego, my pride of only focusing on the wins. We have to focus on the reality of my losses as well and what the wins signify, and just move on to the next and continue to move. I don't know what you guys think, though.
Kathleen
I don't know if
says
it's
it real
correct.
quick. So Kathleen says, celebrate all your successes, big and small. Keep going, and then do better. Always. Yeah. I mean, that
That's
makes
what
sense.
I got to do this year is just stop and reflect on the little wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many dads wouldn't take their family out there or haven't taken their family out there? So just by you experiencing that, whether somebody broke their leg or whatever happened, like that's pretty powerful that they're going to remember that. So I don't know. I think doing is always more powerful than not doing. So
Actions speak louder than words, right, Pops?
Oh, no doubt about it. I think for a long time I had the actions speak louder than words. Going back a long time, 1979, I raced motocross, and I was racing, and I was leading in this Ponca City. It was the national championship. I was leading the race, and all of a sudden, last lap, my chain falls off. I get past, try to get my chain back on, end up missing the podium. I got back, and it was because of a $3 bolt that had a lock nut on it, and I didn't tighten it down. And from that point on, I always focused so much on making sure that every bolt was tight that you kind of miss a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So as life went on, I was so afraid I didn't have all the bolts tightened down that I maybe went that extra mile doing that stuff that didn't really mean anything.
Yep.
And the fact is most of the time the bolt was already tight. But that sent a signal to me that was, here's what happens when you don't prepare properly and make sure that all your shit's tight.
Yeah.
It can cost you what you actually went out to
But the
do.
greatest expect more from themselves than others will ever expect of them. The greatest will.
Yep.
Kobe, what Kobe would practice before the game and after the game.
Yep.
I mean, it's this weird dichotomy of being instilling or illustrating true greatness and then falling short, I think. And maybe not. Tim, I'd love to hear your thoughts in terms of, you look at guys, the best drivers in the world. You've got Max Verstappen, you've got these guys, right? They don't live fun lives. They don't live it now. They have to sacrifice who they are.
yeah, so is it better to sacrifice who you are, take the first place trophy, or not focus on the bolt and enjoy second or third place with the people you're there with? Like which
is
one,
it to
which
you
one's
guys?
better?
But you compete. Like you already said earlier, you compete. For me, I worked hard to get to that race, and then the surprise of leading it, and then failing because of a $4 part. I was so pissed, and that was a long ass drive home from Ponca City, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that, and I think about how I ran my life for a long time after that, hyper focused on those little things, and you just get lost in the fodder.
So where do you sit? Do you sit in?
I've let it go.
Yeah.
I've just let it go, and it's just.
But moving forward,
if you prepare, if you just go through the process of doing things right, or focus on what you think is right, then just whatever happens, happens. If the bolt falls off, the bolt falls off. But I know we went in prepared. You and I sat and had, after one of our recent heavy lifting events, Halloween. It was an event that took us up until 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and everybody left, and we sat back here and said, "What can we do better?" When everybody else was saying this is the greatest party that we've ever had.
yeah, but you know why? Because we want to be the best on the planet. So the question
is that ego, or is that
So
was that drive.
So I have a question. So when you said you let it go, what did you let go of?
I let go of the fear that
Yep,
I had
yep.
to check
That's what I
every
was thinking.
single thing.
Yep.
Okay.
I just
But
let go of the fear.
You didn't give away the importance of making sure that it's taken care of.
No,
Like your
no, no,
drive
no.
to
No, when you're
like if you line back up, that was 1979.
Yep.
1980, you line up. Are you still racing for the win, or are you racing to have fun?
I never lost a race because of failure ever again. I mean, I crashed and did stupid things, but the fact is, from that point on, when I prepped my bike, I just knew to do that. So it is, did I make a mistake? One could say it's a mistake. I called it a lesson. At the time, I didn't call it a lesson. I just said, this is what I got to do for prep.
So, Tim, your question is, what's more important for those who are sitting at the table and those who are watching? Thank you for those of you. Giving up part of who you are to be the very best, or enjoying the ride and then falling where you fall. Is that the correct way to sum up what your question is?
I think as men we want to succeed, and it's easy to succeed in certain things that are known variables, whether that's work or even competing in sports. Like, those are known variables. If I put in the time, this plus this equals this result, I'm fairly confident in that. Mm-hmm. But the harder things in life are not the equations that we can say this plus this equals this. So, and that's family, that's things that we don't know, that takes faith, that hey, I had to let go of the fear of doing that.
Yep.
which most people that have learned from those experiences would say the same thing that you just said.
Yep.
That I had a fear that I would fail, but when I let that go, then that opened up new things.
Yeah.
That changed your mindset, and
It changes your
probably
mindset.
made the races more enjoyable.
It did. Well, and the thing is it was like the amount of time I would put into making sure every nut and bolt and spoke and everything was tight was hours and hours and hours. And it was just time wasted. But once I knew everything was tight, it was tight last week, everything stayed together, I was good.
But let me ask you something to play devil's advocate. Did you not ride the bike harder knowing you put in the work to make sure everything was tight and you weren't going to drop a chain again?
I definitely
Did you
rode
not
harder
perform
because
better?
I knew it wasn't going to break. And if it broke, it broke.
If it broke, it was it wasn't your fault.
It wasn't my fault. But this one was my fault. I knew that I had adjusted the chain and I didn't fix
I'm playing
it.
devil's advocate.
But what if you didn't know that it wasn't going to break, but you still rode it hard?
Yeah.
So it takes a level of faith that, hey, this is going to work out how it's going to work out. So even if it does break, then, hey, maybe I need to listen to what's happening to me right now and then course correct to whether it's maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe, hey, I need to get somebody a better mechanic on my team.
Yeah.
Or
it's interesting, and I think it may be my youth, but I think this may be an area where we slightly disagree in a healthy way, which is, I think it's in where I'm at in my life, especially. I'm young chicken still, but I'm gonna put the hours into the bolts so I know it, because if I have the opportunity to not leave that to faith, where I want to hedge my bet in faith is somewhere that's not somewhere I can control.
And I'm not saying, hey, don't do your checks, don't do anything. It's gonna run.
Yeah.
I'm not
pretty
saying.
sure you're saying those luck nuts down.
I'm not saying that.
What you're saying is being obsessive on the things that maybe we think are important but are not important. Motocross is so much different because you can literally die doing it. So maybe there's a good
maybe there's a different.
But regardless, even in business and in life, and I think it's.
I think in anything we can obsess about whatever the bolt is in the industry, whatever it is, you can always obsess over that. But that's time taken away. That at some point you gotta know it's going to work out.
You got to have faith. Yeah, and I think that we do that here. Like Brandon has created the beauty of videos. Shoot it once, tell it many times. we have a very specific way, the way we want this run. So in every case, whether it's how a shelf has to look or whatever, there's photos on our internal system so nobody has to guess. We don't have to guess if the bolt was tightened down because we have to have faith that our quality staff saw the picture of how it's supposed to be.
That's why I want the faith.
And we have faith that they're going to do it.
Faith in humans.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and see, so if something doesn't work out the way you think it's going to, I think there's an opportunity there, and it's not always what it appears to be. So taking a step back and seeing, okay, was the opportunity really to tighten this down, or was it, I think somebody kicked the camera and it started swaying. So I mean, do you really need to change everything, or like what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I feel like
right.
I feel like there's an opportunity there, but it might not be the one that is most obvious.
You know what? That's great because we take the kick in the camera perspective. The important thing in the nuts and bolts is that people are here, they're joining us, we're having a great conversation.
Yeah.
And
there's people to kick the camera.
There are people to kick the camera. And the nuts and bolts are, make sure I don't forget my camera with the right lens so we can bring it closer next week. We learn on that.
Yeah.
No, I think, and that completely switches my mindset. And I think I thought incorrect, and I think you're right with this. And I think that's identifying what truly is important and giving yourself all the way through with what is important.
Yeah.
And then the things that are outside that variable, if you can control it, okay, then make your plans and learn from it. But if they're outside your control, enjoy the fact that Miguel or whoever kicked this camera because they're here watching what's
cool.
happening.
That's part of it, man. If I did this at the Blendary right now, I wouldn't have anybody to kick the camera, and that's a different deal. So I'd be grateful for Miguel kicking the camera because Miguel's here, and it adds to it. So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. But that is also to the previous point 20 minutes ago of just being humble and understanding. Holy shit, we're here enjoying this.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of life, I think.
Which is being present. That hey, let's not worry about that. That hey, let's have a heart of gratitude of what we actually have,
And speaking of heart of gratitude, we have Jim Trader coming in, let's just go ahead and throw up another cheers to Jim Trader.
Cheers,
to you,
Jim.
my brother.
Love you, bro.
Much love.
Love you,
We
man.
love you. We appreciate you. And he is asking for the big three questions. So I think this is a good time for us to pivot to the big three. These are character judging questions. Everyone who's watching is going to judge you. We will judge you. This is only given to the most esteemed guests.
Yep. It's the judgment zone.
This is the judgment zone. We're going to ask you three questions. These questions are going to be answered from a 1 to 10. 1 is absolutely no. 10 is absolutely yes.
Got it.
5 doesn't exist.
Okay.
3 questions.
Technically, there's a 0 too.
Adrian
that's just
0 on
'cause you're here.
everything.
Yeah.
And with all of that being said, I think it's only right. Jim Trader, which question should we ask first?
Yeah.
I think that would be the right way. But these questions are very, very important.
Okay. I'm ready.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what Jim Trader comes in with what his question is. In the meantime, we're going to take a moment to
There you
fuel
go.
up here.
Yeah.
Patrick, also, thank you for joining us, man. We really appreciate you. He said,
if that's Patrick that I think it is, he's a great guy. Great guy.
he says, in the end, you have to hope that you found a balance between being the best at what you do and somehow finding the time to stop and smell the roses. Having no regrets is the goal in life.
Boom.
All right.
Smart
That's
guy.
deep.
All right.
Damn.
Now move on to Jim Trader.
That's why I drink whiskey with that guy.
He's in.
Yeah, I want to drink whiskey with that
He's
guy.
in.
You got
He's
it?
going. He's getting furry.
Jim.
Jim Trader
Yeah.
asked
All
the
right.
first question.
He did.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Tim Huels, where do you stand on Sasquatch? However, before you answer, we must all judge. Where does everyone think Tim sits on whether Sasquatch exists
Is
or
real?
not?
Okay.
7 coming
Yeah.
from Josh Sims.
And 7 is on the yes.
Yes, plus
spectrum?
5.
Seven else,
Okay.
yes.
Plus
Zero-
5. Where do you
zero
think
is
he's at?
me.
Where do you
Okay.
think he's at?
I'm
He's
gonna go.
he's going.
Are you born and raised Texan?
No.
Where
Where are you from?
Yeah.
St. Louis.
He's a Midwesterner.
1.
He's going 1. You got a 6. We got a 7. We got a 2. We got a 7. Bob's, where you at? More people think yes.
I want to find the good things in all people. So I'm going 7.
Wayne's
going
coming
7.
in with 3.
I think he's a 3 guy. Tim, where you sit?
They just come in with a 9.
2.
2.
Yeah.
All right.
He wants to believe.
No, I don't really give a shit. So could it be possible? Yeah. I mean,
It's a monkey.
we're always
Junior, we all look the
finding
same?
new things. Yeah. It's I don't lose any sleep over it. Let's
All right.
let's say it that
Well,
way.
then let's turn up the volume knob a little
All
bit.
right, here we go.
Adrian, where you at for number 2? A lot of people thought you believed in Sasquatch.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Wow. Okay.
So same.
You give off that believing aura.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not in Sasquatch.
Yeah, I think it's the beard. Yeah,
okay.
definitely beard.
Okay.
Yeah. Same scale. UFOs. And we've kind of elaborated on the question.
It's a two-parter.
Yeah, it's a 2-parter.
So like alien life.
Does alien life exist somewhere in the universe?
Originally
somewhere in the
started with just
cosmos?
UFOs. We expanded it to include aliens
Somewhere in the
visiting.
universe.
Yeah.
And then
And have they been
visited?
here?
Yeah.
Oh, have they been here?
Yeah.
Like landed?
Are they coming in? Did Roswell happen?
Are they
Is
watching
the
our
Tic Tac
podcast?
video real?
The videos that the government
Is
released?
the Tic Tac video real?
Tic Tac?
You never watched that? This is why you're still a 0. Motherfucker. Come on now. Houdini coming in with a strong 8 right now.
Okay, so
Yeah,
hold
what
on.
do I
We
say?
gotta
Yeah, we gotta judge them first.
So I'm good. I'll start with. Do they exist in the universe? I think he's a very logical person.
Yep, I think he's a plus 5.
I think he's going to be a solid 9, believing that universe is too big. Are they here? Is your wife a redhead?
No.
Because I believe all female redheads are aliens. Myself.
Okay.
Until somebody proves me wrong, and that hasn't happened. And we've asked this question for 2 years. So I'm going to go, are they here now? I think he's in the same boat as he is with Sasquatch, and he's a 2.
Where you at? He's never
I'm a 0.
said plus 5.
No.
I know where you're at.
I'm
We
a
all know where you're
0.
at. Where's Tim at? He's sub.
Oh, Tim. Yeah.
That's Tim.
How about that special K?
He's like an MRI, baby.
Sub 5 on both.
Because of the expansion into aliens in the universe, I'm going 6.
The first ever. All right, where you at?
Is there life out there? I'm an 8 on that.
All right.
Let's go. Let's
winner,
go.
winner, chicken dinner.
I mean, it's
It's a big
logical.
play. It's big
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then have they? Are they here now?
Have they visited us?
Have they visited
Have
us?
they, at
They're
any
redhead,
time?
At any time.
If they're redhead, obviously.
Was Jesus an alien? Is what we're asking.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm a 2 on that. Same
2.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
What'd you say? 7-2.
That's pretty close. Yeah.
All
I
right,
don't-
now the final 2-parter.
Yeah.
It's the man of faith. It's the man of faith.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
just remember this.
Yeah.
Yep.
2-parter. 1 is easy. I think I know where you're at. Second, it's going to be challenging. Number 1, do you believe ghosts exist? Physical apparitions, physical representation of the
Doors
spirit
flying
world.
open,
Shit
steps
moving,
walking around,
poltergeist.
lights going on and off.
Second part of that, spirits. Do spirits exist here and elsewhere? Maybe with a connection. Maybe there's an experience you have.
How
with
do
it.
ghosts and spirits differ in your mind?
Ghosts are here and they move things, so they're on ghost hunters, and people pick them
a
up.
ghost could have kicked the camera.
Yes, but I guess with Miguel, it wasn't.
Did you see
Miguel,
that he typed that it
that
wasn't
it was Garrett
him?
Reed? So does Garrett Reed exist? Number 1.
No.
Number
No.
2, do spirits exist?
So I'm gonna let's answer the question first.
Spirits, Jim Trader says 100.
I'm going
100 out of
10.
10. Yeah. Math is tough for Jim.
we got a lot of 10s.
But I'm gonna go ghost apparitions, that stuff. I'm gonna put it in the Sasquatch realm of 2.
2.
I'm gonna say in spirit
2-8.
I think he's got to believe. I think it's a hard 10. I think he's got to believe.
I'm going 2-8. Where you at, Adrian?
I posted 07.
0-7. Where you at?
210.
Yeah, that's close.
210.
Do you have a spirit story?
Yeah, I mean, I think to go back to what we talked about earlier, the more capacity that I bring into my life, and the more that I look towards it, then yeah, I could almost say every day there's something that happens that can't be explained.
Okay.
It's not logical. The mathematics behind it or whatever, I used to be like, oh no, give me some predictability and like what are the odds? Like, oh, that's just coincidence.
Right.
So I don't really believe in coincidence anymore. So yeah, when you're looking for it, I think there's opportunities all around you every day.
Look for the
that
signs.
you miss, that I've missed for years. That when I'm dialed in, when I'm the most present person, I can find things every day that you cannot explain. I cannot explain. So I'm a hard 10 on that. So
That is excellent.
Yeah.
Ladies
feel
and
like a winner.
gentlemen, boys and girls, this was Cigar Talk Live. Tim,
Tell us where the Blendary is and how people can learn more about you.
Yeah, so the Blendary is in Oak Point, Texas. So it is a very small place.
it's
next
8
to
minutes from my house.
Yeah, close to Little Elm, just south of 380. You can go to thewhiskeyblendary.com, and we've got some really cool bottles available right now. So everything we do is small run, not small run like other distilleries do. We're saying like
Small run of 50,000.
yeah,
We have that.
Small run of like Andy, who's here earlier. He labeled like 30 of those kind of small run deal. So like the Sherry Christmases, we did less than 50 bottles of each of those. So we are very dialed into the craft of it, and we want exclusive things that you can make yourself. That you can say, hey Tim, I've been thinking about this. I want this mash bill, or I want this, and I want it finished in this, or whatever it is, whatever you want to say. Hey, this is what I want. We're either willing to try it, or we've done it before, and I can say, yeah, it's you can waste your money on that, but it's probably not going to work. Or like, yeah, let me have you try this because I kept one of these bottles back. Is this what you're thinking? And then we'll help you make that. So.
Have you ever had anything, and I'm sorry, I know we were trying to end the show, but it reminded me of a cigar that a master blender said on paper, this shouldn't work. And it did.
All the time.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
All the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the fun part, because I relate it to golf because I'm not a great golf player. But usually every round I'll hit one.
Yep.
I'll hit one shot.
That's the one that
like,
keeps you coming back.
Keeps you coming back. So yeah, sometimes I'll make a blend and I'll be blending for days or weeks and it's just not right, and slowly get there and finally get there. But other times it's like I'll take the less obvious things. I'll take 2 whiskeys that I do not like, and then I'll just say, hey, let's go 50-50. Let's see what they taste like together. And then it creates this amazing whiskey that it's like, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't like that one by itself. I didn't like this one by itself, but blend them together and it's like, holy cow, this thing is awesome. So, that happens all the time.
Yeah, we've done the blending process, and when you taste the individual leaves in and of themselves, it's tough. But then when you smoke 3 or 4 of these at one time, it's this whole magic thing that happens when it all comes together. So
Just watch what's
really
going to happen with the ICC and Blendary coming soon.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's even weird because when people come in to blend, I'll set up some gimmies, some barrels that I know that work together, but then I'll also put some bogeys in there to where, one's a little off-putting by itself, so people always, write that off, and I'm not going to blend with that one.
Yeah.
We didn't like it. And then towards the end, I'm like, hey, why don't you just see if it's complementary to, I know you didn't like that one individually, but why don't you just try it? And then they try it, and they're like, wow, this is better than the one that we just tried.
Interesting.
Or we have it to where there's two very good whiskeys, and then they'll try to blend those together, thinking that hey,
It should be twice as
it should be
good.
good, but sometimes it ruins
Falls
it.
apart.
Yeah. So it's a lot of trial and error, but that's why we're
fun. No one else gets to do that. You get to do that at a small level.
That's the craft of blending.
Yeah, very cool. Well, we wish you the best of luck in your business.
No, thank you.
Being a father, new husband, and everything, we wish you nothing but the best.
Appreciate that very much.
Cheers to all you suckers who joined us. Much love. Thank you. Until next time.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Peace
Thanks
out.
for being here.
Peace.
Later, guys.
We out.
Where are people